So again, a very good morning. So today's in disaster management unit 1, what we are going to see is global trend in disaster, which means global trend is on the whole we are going to talk about the global condition. So in globally how this disaster is taking place, that is what we are going to discuss today. So first we will see on what classification we classify into global trends. First one is urban disasters, then pandemics, then complex emergencies, then climate change. Only these 4 topics. And the first topic is urban disaster. Before starting this, you should know what is meant by urbanization and then disaster. The two distinct but interviewed trend become really evident in the 21st century, which means urbanization has led to disaster, and this disaster is causing more damage because of urbanization. The both are interlinked. The first one in 2008 marked the first time in history where more people lived in urban center than outside of them. So initially, if you see, population is widespread, and because of job and because of earnings, because of lack of rain, what happened is people from village, they started traveling towards urban, and initially it was very less, and then gradually migration from rural to urban was taking place. Record says by the year 2008 the urban people are more than village people. That a line has crossed. The reason we all know, drawn of economic, education, social opportunities, the migration towards city is undeniable and reversible. We all know, nobody once they comes to Chennai, they will not go back to their native place at all. Similarly, we can define that there is a need. So there is a need, so the people they move because for economic development, and because of the educational required for their children, and social opportunity, more opportunities in case of urban when compared to rural. So migration will be there, and this is you have to accept. Only thing, they have to come, we cannot stop, and this is an irreversible process. Once they come here, nobody will go from urban to rural. Okay, so this is the graph. So it has been shown by United Nations Department of Economics and Social Affairs. So they look into this monitoring, and you can see the graph. That blue line is your village people, and green line is urban population. So at 2008, what happened is the urban population has increased beyond a limit, and this has led to increase in population. So now when you compare in 2080, 2030, it will be more than, what to say, 60% of the population will be in urban and only 40% will be in rural. Okay, so that condition may occur, they say. This is standard from United States Department of Economics and Social Affairs. Then according to United States Population Division projection, really all over the world population growth in next few decades will be on urban areas in low and middle income countries. We come under middle income countries. There are some low income countries also. What they say, there will be entire try to shift towards, by 2030 the number will be almost billion, 5 billion in all the cities. The most of the urban growth will be connected heavily in Asia and African countries. So we belong to Asian countries, so in our case also. So what happens is, if you take Tamil Nadu, the population crowding on Chennai is very high. I think it has touched even 1 crore now, population of Chennai, when compared to other districts. When you take Coimbatore, only 15 lakhs is the population. See the difference, there it is 15 lakhs and here it is 1C. That is why even if you see the number of corona in Chennai, even it is touching 1200, we are able to see that nearby house there are only 1 or 2 cases, whereas in case of Madurai and all, population is very less. If it is 100 200 itself, it will be very huge one. Okay. uh, Again, now they show the projected. So world population in urban, it was only in 1950 it was around 732 billion. Now million, sorry, not billion, it is million, where rural were around 1700. And see, now it is in case of 2000, we are now in projected on 2010. Okay, not 20, so 10 around. So now itself urban is more than rural, and if the condition goes like this, then the rural population will be very less. Everybody will move to city side. I think you should know what is the problem faced when urban population increase. No, see, there is a something like a native person of Chennai. Okay, if already one or two generation is crossed, at least you will have a own house. Okay, at least you will have a own house if two generation has crossed. Okay, but see the condition when they come from outside to Chennai, at that time they will not have house, they have to be in rent. And even from rural, if they come to city, they have to get crowded. So I think you all might have seen area in near Saidapet, near Kuam, they used to stay like in small houses. Now, how this urbanization and disaster is linked is, when flood comes, only the region like these places will be get affected, when compared to even to your places like Mambalam and all, where residents have been there for more than 2-3 decades, or more than 2-3 generation. They will have an individual house or they will have a flats. Floods will not affect that much as compared. And again, in marshland and all, they are building. So for example, entire Valacheri is marshland. From the word itself, it is very clear, it is a land with marsh. So but what to see, when population increase, all they are building. So what happens is, if the flood comes, automatically your building will submerge inside your water, not your roads gets flood, entire building will get submerged. So because there is height difference between the sea level, see, when you go and stand on the road of Valacheri, you may think you have built it at an higher elevation. See, you say that I have kept 4 to 5 steps and then build, but that surface itself, when compared to Alandura or Adambakam, what happens is that height from the sea level itself is very low. So you don't know at the normal time, only you can identify at the time of flood what is the level of Valacheri with respect to other regions. So okay, so that is the problem. When urbanization is taking place, you are getting crowded. So when you get crowded, all chance of possibility is there, because escaping some is little bit difficult. See, if you have individual house, if flood comes, there is no problem. But when you say a very congested place, you cannot even run out from that place. So you will get stuck in disaster. Okay, so that is what we mean to say. Indian tsunami 2004, they are showing what is the condition, and then in Pakistan flood in 2010 they are comparing. And there is a center for research on epidemiology and disaster maintenance on emergency disaster database. So they are collecting how the people are able to escape from if a disaster is occurring, whether the emergency exists or there, is there any way to come out, emergency ways are there. So if you are there in slum, then there is possibility is very low, you cannot come out because it will be very narrow. Okay, all the things will take. So the thing which we are trying to tell you is, urbanization is nothing but increasing the population, which is crowding. So all people who come from rural will not have 1 crore or 1.5 crores to buy a house and stay. They just come with not even with lakhs. So if they are not coming with lakhs, think about the place they can afford and they can stay. Okay, so that will be most congested area. So that leads to, if there is any disaster, more getting affected. Okay, like floods, or if any tsunami is coming, water from sea will rise and it will enter through all types of rivers, and that will try to increase the catch up areas. So any house in this area will try to be get damaged. Okay, an event of categorized as a natural disaster if it kills 10 or more people or leaves around 100 people injured, homeless, displaced and evacuated. All this will happen if we are going for urbanization. So this is the graph. So from 1916 to 2008 it has been compared. Then total number of disaster and total number of people affected, I think you can see Asia where you have more in both the cases. Number of disaster which has occurred is also more, and number of affected is also more. The reason is there is more shift from from rural to urban. Since there is shift from rural to urban, you get congested. So if there is any disaster, you get damaged more. Even when you see corona, the places where there are individual houses, they escape. So when there is crowd place, even in slums, what is the problem is you don't have separate water connection. So water connection has been shared. You will have a tank in a road, so you have to go and take water. So there is chance for people to get crowded, or you have a place where there is chance for this diseases to transfer. Okay, so that is why we say when there is more and more urbanization is taking place. The best example, if you want, you can give the place called Bombay, where it is heavily crowded. So we can even see that in India, that is in the first place with respect to more number of people affected to corona. So that is what we say. When you go for urbanization, then if there is any disaster is occurring, you will get more affected. That is what we mean to say. Okay. Then according to EM data, the total natural disaster reported each year has been steadily increasing in the recent decades, from 78 in 1970 to 348 in 2004. I think we have seen disasters are man-made. Even though some natural disaster you say, even that is been man-made. So that leads to more number of occurring, and this is occurring because of crowding of population. You try to destroy the environment. See, urbanization, one more problem is when you have more crowd, then there will be more emission of CO2. All that we will see. If there is increasing CO2, then obviously there is a more chance for eating up. If there is more chance for eating up, then there is more chance for even rain also. Okay, so that is what it has been observed. This disaster includes drought, tsunamis, hurricanes is nothing but very high speed of wind with the cloud. Then typhoons. These hurricanes and typhoons will not be there in India. It will be there in European countries and America. So we have only tsunamis. Only one time we have visualized. Floods and maybe increasing over the past 25 years. In 1980, there were only 100 such disasters reported, the above mentioned disasters, and but never rises over 300 since 2000. So it has tripled the time it has increased. So all this is because of urbanization and the disaster which is occurring. What are the three trends tells on this is the world's growing population is concentrating in urban center. That is the first reason. At the same time, the number of disaster is increasing and the number of people affected those disaster too. So when there is a crowding, if there disaster occurs, then obviously there will be more number of affected. The intersection of these two trends in the face of disaster response in 21st century, humanitarian response increasingly being mounted in complex urban environment. Okay, so this is what the first one. Then how to come out of it. We can break down these challenges into three primary areas. The first one is from household to neighborhood. From household to neighborhood. Can you understand from this anything? The focus on assistant, which is nothing but, see what happens in urban areas. You don't have even any tree, or you doesn't cultivate anything. See, usually I think around 20-30 years, when there was individual house, each house has at least one or two coconut tree, one or two banyan trees. Then you will have like mangoes, you have like some vegetables like drumstick, all that thing you was used to have. So if some worst case, from home itself you will try to pick it and you will try to use it, and now this is totally not there in urban. Okay, so when a disaster is simultaneously occurring at urban as well as in rural people are escaping because they have their livelihood. They will try to exchange between them and they will try to have their food, whereas we are facing the problem. So that is what we say, in urban we lack. Then livelihoods is urban livelihoods, you have to constantly work, constantly earn, constantly spend. See, you don't have any option of cultivating anything, and you don't option of selling, so that only if you get income, then only it is possible. And again, any disasters are occurring, first thing is unemployment. So if there is unemployment, I don't have money. If I don't have money, I cannot buy anything. This is the case in urban. Second point I am saying. Whereas in rural, if you take, what happens is they will also have agriculture land. From there they will take, their income is only by selling this food product, and during even disaster also they can do this. And if their income is not there also, they can go on, there won't be any huge problem. And third one is importance of market. So this again in your urban, everything we have to go and get it from market. If the market get disturbed, everything will get disturbed. And I think we have undergone this now. When some corona has come to Coimbatore, entire thing has collapsed, because from there only it has to come. If that market is not there, then there is a problem. So even if you develop urban, what you are supposed to do is, you are not supposed to depend on a single place where market. So market has to be distributed, so that if you distribute it, at least if one gets blocked, we are able to get. So these are the various problems in urban when any disaster is coming, and you have to outbreak it, you have to come out of, so that you have to do. So small corrections like this if you do, then you can even come out of any disaster. That is what we mean to say. Then community urban planning, this has done in Africa, where one time as earthquake has occurred, all the buildings get damaged and so many lives has gone through death. So after that, what they did, they got the ideas from this community urban planning, that is global communities worked with community to plan their neighborhood and reconstruction process for a safer and healthier environment. I will show you a video. So in that video you can see what has happened and how they come out. So that we have to follow. So even if you are in urban, if you are in slum, then it has to be restructured. So minimum in, you have to go for first floor and second floor even in slums, not just ground floor alone. So what they will show in this video is, they will say that you go for ground floor, first floor, and you have try to provide spacing between the houses. So if you do such things, you can come out of it. Okay, that is just a 14 minutes video. So once we complete our class, then we will go through it, that video, then you will understand. So that even that can be done. Even in slum, you should have a access to the roads, drainage, then market space should be there between the slum as open area. Then waste removal, you are not just supposed to dump. I think you might have, if you have gone through this MRTS train from Valacheri, the train will run only over the Kuam from starting till end, and on the both side you can see the slums where their houses will not be properly built or maintained, whatever we can say. So there what happens is, all this problem will be there. You don't have any road access. See, you are on the sides of Kuam. If anything occurs, you cannot come out of it. Even if flood rises also, you cannot come out. If it is corona, you cannot again stop spreading of this, because you are jamly packed and drainage is not there. So you try to spoil the river also, so that your entire water, underground water, get damaged. Then there won't be any market space and all. Wastewater removal will not be there, and water and sanitation you have to go and take from a tank. Again there is a chance for crowding. Okay, so this is the problem faced when the people move from rural to urban, and during hazard periods that will affect. Okay, so if you are supposed to write any 16 mark question, if they ask, you have to say how urban in connection with the disaster try to have more effect rather than the same thing occurring in rural. Now condition is little bit changed. See, what happened is in corona Tamil Nadu, they should have not told this blocking period in well advance. Last time what they did is, next week we are going to close the exit. They told, they gave 6 to 7 days. What happened is, this 6 to 7 days all people from Chennai they migrated, so corona also has went with them to their native place and they started spreading. Okay, so but till that, before that instant, when you see the record, only in urban you have more corona and in rural it was less. So that is what we mean to say. Why this is more? Because spreading is in same way, spreading of corona is same in rural as well as urban, but there are, only thing is there is a crowding of population, whereas that is not there in rural. So it is widely distributed, the population. When there is widely distribution, there is chance for corona to spread is less. When you have jam packed, then obviously there is a more cause. So that is what we mean to say. So urbanization has to be done with planning. That is conclusion. When you have a urbanization is going on, there should be some planning, which means all that some areas has to be planned. There also you have to build such that first floor, second floor and all, not you have to stay in like all ground floor, so crowding will be there. Okay, all the things you have to do. Now let us move on to second topic for today's session, which is pandemic. Pandemic means is nothing but a communicable disease which is coming from all type of virus and all. So that is what we call it as. So pandemics are large scale outbreak of infection diseases that can greatly increase morbidity and mortality over a wide geographic area. Mortality is nothing but death rate with respect to population, how much death with respect to how much percentage of population, geographic area, and cause significant economic, social and political disturbance. So if you are seeing any pandemic like virus problem, then which leads to so many problems like economic entire, see this pandemic will nothing but a virus, so it will spread. So to avoid spread, you should ask them to stay home. So if you ask them to stay home, then the country economy will go down, then socially you will get out. Then political disturbance, if you are unable to control, then the entire political will get collapsed. Okay, so all this thing will happen in pandemic cases. Then evidence suggests that the likelihood of pandemic has increased over the past century because of increased global travel. First thing is travel. If we have not traveled to China, or from the people if not traveled from China, then this corona might be less. See, even 100 years back also the same problem was there, but entire world is not get affected because you don't have global travel. But now you have a global travel, then integration is there. So before, all the peoples cannot go by flight, only ship, that takes so many time duration, all that thing was there. The globe was very wide. Previously it was very wide, traveling itself is a very huge task, but now it has gone for integration. That is, within 10 hours I can go to Australia, so anywhere I can travel. So when you travel, there is high chance for pandemics. Then the second thing is urbanization. So urbanization also leads to increase in pandemic effect. Change in land use, greater exploration of natural environment. So when you go for exploration of natural environment, automatically pandemics may occur. Origin for pandemics we should know. So always this pandemic will origin from animals. Okay, most new pandemics are organized through zoonotic, which is nothing but from animal to man, transmission of pathogenous from animals to human. And the next pandemic is likely to be from animal genes or animal viruses. So enter into human population from both domestic animals and wildlife. See, there is, you can clearly understand this from our corona situation itself. They say it is originated from China, and it is originated because of consuming. It is not say consuming. Even if you what to say, if you live along with the wildlife itself, you will have all such situation. See, that should be in forest and you should be in land areas. You started growing all type of wild animals, then that leads to some virus. Okay, see, there is this corona is already there in so many animals, but that virus will not be disturbing them. But when this come in contact with human, then only you have so many problems. Many historical significant zoonoses were introduced through increased human animal interaction following. So you all know that this is pandemic situation itself is occurring because of that reason. So that is what they say origin. Then risk. What is the risk in pandemics? uh, Throughout the history and appear to increasing in frequency. So previously once it will come in 40 years or 50 years, but now what happening is for every 10 to 20 years this pandemic condition is occurring. So there is high risk, particularly because of increasing in emergence of viral diseases from animals. So they started eating all the animals, so from there you have a viral diseases, and that is spreading, and this is repeated in frequency is increasing. So there is more chance for risk. Then pandemic risk is driven by the combined effect of spark risk. Spark risk is nothing but the where it rises, we call it as spark. So where it has raised this corona has raised this from China, so that region we call it as spark risk. Spark risk where you will have more spread. Then spread risk, from there they say, but everything is questionable. They only say one person has traveled from China to US, and but the US has a severe effect. So that is what we mean to say. Even spark risk, when you say it is place where it originated there, but the effect will be more even in spread risk also. Some geographic region with high spark risk including Central and Western Africa. So again, compared to China, African peoples also they get more with wildlife. So from there also there is a chance. Okay, so chance for pandemic to begin. Lag begin the rest of the globe in pandemic present condition. Then the okay, then probability and all the such things are increasing day by day. So increasing this will increase your risk also. Then influenza in the most likely pathogen to cause a severe pandemics. Then analysis that this exceedance probability they are putting. So with the help of probability they are able to identify what will be the influence of this pandemic on the people. Okay, then impact. When you come for impact, pandemic can cause significant widespread increase in death and have disproportionately higher mortality impact on LMICs. This LMICs is nothing but low medium income countries. Low and medium income countries are all developing countries. So this will affect more for the countries like low and middle income groups. So high income groups there won't be any problem. See, if you take country like Dubai, you don't have more population and you have each and every high income group people, they live separately, so they will not come in contact itself, so spreading will be less. So pandemic can cause economic damage. Once that we all know, now we are facing the economic damage, that is you don't have cash at all with you. So pandemic can cause economic damage through multiple channels including short term facial shocks and long term, which means short term is 3 to 4 months, long term is more nearly an year. So once it has come to end also, then it takes time for the economic to grow back. So these are the impacts of pandemics. Then individual behavioral changes such as fear induced aversion to workplace. So you will not try to go to workplace at all. See, this even happens if they ask us to come back to college, we will not again go. We may think even that can spread again. So this is the one of the major impact. even that disease has vanished, then we will also have a fear which has been induced, and other public gathering places we will try to avoid, and the primary case for negative shock to economic growth during pandemic. So if the crowding is not there, then there is no cash circulation. If there is no cash circulation, then the economic will not grow. Okay, then some pandemic limitations measures can cause significant social and economic disturbances, that we all know. We have seen in last class itself what is social and economic. In country with weak institutions and legacy of population instability, political instability, pandemic can increase potential stress and tension. In this context, the outbreak response measures such as quantities have sparked violence and tension between the states and citizens. Okay, this may happen if the condition is going on, and if the government is not giving any food commodities or cash, then you will lack of it, then there is a chance for violence, and even that party will fail, the governing rule itself will fail. So all this is the impact of pandemics. Then knowledge gap is spending and cost specially associated with pandemic preparedness and response effect are poorly tracked. So when the government gives a cash, then we have to put a monitoring team till to find whether cash reached the last point. So in between itself, if the cash is been blocked, then nothing can be done. So if the central government is giving, state government has to use it such that it reaches the common man. So only if it reaches the common man, then only you can suppress this pandemic effect. Or if it is not being tracked, then we all know that it may lead into problem. There is no widely accepted consistent methodology for estimating the economic impact. So you don't have any formulas to calculate what will be the level of economic down, and again what time it will take to regain. All that we will lack. So that is also a gap. Then most data regarding the impact of pandemic and the benefits and the cost of measures of some from high income countries you have to get. So from there you have to get some, and you have to distribute it, and you have to come rid of it, and this gap is also there. These also they are not properly planning. So all this are the gaps which is available that results to pandemic situation. Yeah, just wait for a minute. So next is the third one, complex emergencies. This doesn't happen in Indian country. We don't have that much quarrel between the states. We don't go for fighting till that situation and all. But this is there in African countries where even now they are being dominated by whites. They try to suppress them. When you try to suppress them, they will revoke, or there is some local quarrel between the government and the citizen. So this is also a condition where, what to say, this is happening. Your disaster will be there, and that leads to so many issues. Okay, so a certain district Y has been affected by a 10 years conflict in which over 2 million people have been internally displaced and their lives is camps. The best example for this is Sri Lanka, where you have noted that there is always a quarrel between the country and the Tamil people. So what happens is, if you say in general there is only quarrel, but actually speaking what happens is, if the military starts entering into a place and they started to fire, they start running from the home and they will go and settle in camps. And in camps is not similar to your house. You will not get all the things what you have got in your house. So camp is nothing but you will not get. So that leads to draft, and that leads to a disaster, and that leads to human death. Okay, that is what we call it as complex emergency. So they cannot return to their homes for fear of their rebels. So this will usually happen in like Africa, where more number of rebellions will be there. So that leads to so many problems. Deep social crisis in which large number of people dies from war, displacement from their home, and hunger, since they will not get anything to eat owing to man-made disaster. This is a man-made disaster. It has occurred in 1999. And similarly, humanities crisis with breakdown in authority due to internal and external conflict. If the conflict is between the government itself, the people and the government, then government will do nothing for the people. If the nothing is been done, then again that leads to a disaster. So if it is between a government and civilians, then it is a very great disaster. So you will not get food grains, all that things. So again that leads to your complex emergencies. So this is a snapshot of a republic groups in African countries. Violence and massive displacement. See, even army force will have weapons, and even this rebellions people will also have the weapons. Administrative and economic, political will get entirely collapsed. Human people will not support government, and government will not support people. Long lasting, and this issue is not taking place for a month or a year. It is more than so many years. Exploration and worsening of existing defense in civil society. See, if one country is started internal war, the amount will be spent more on war items, and that means the country cannot develop. You cannot put it in any other thing other than this defense. So automatically your level will come down. Then characteristics of CE is nothing but what we are seeing. So despite of over and authorities, government or liberal, the vulnerable populations at a greatest risk. We have seen what is vulnerable, the maximum limit which can be withstand. Then large scale humanities assistance needed. Then hindrance to assistance by political or military force. So all these things are the characteristics. Then you can see from this video, this left photo, see the population is there till that end. So they are continuously migrating. So if they migrate and if they go and settle, the place where they settle, they won't get anything. So you cannot say they will get everything. So which leads to malnutrition. So child will be not properly growing. So you will have all types of malnutrition. So this is because of complex emergencies occurring. So these are the emergency situation. See, there is no scope. You have to only run. So that is why we call it as emergency. You ran from that place. When you ran from that place, you will not have all the facilities on the place where you go and settle. So that is the problem. Then priority intervention in refugees. All the people who escape, we call it as refugees. Refugee situation, a rapid need of assessment. Water and sanitation will not be there. Food and nutrition food will not be there. Even place to settle will not be there. Then health care, if there any disease coming, already you are in refugee camp, so it will affect more. Control of communicable diseases, that is what I have told. Then coordinations, you will not have more coordinations because you have ran away. So you stay in a group, so there won't be any such coordination. All this will leads to a greater disaster. So what you need is, you need to have a need assessment. So proper assessment should be there. So if you assess only, you can identify what and all you don't have. From that you can identify risk factor and you can start developing. Water and sanitary, drinking water is the top priority. When you go for a refugee, first day I can give you 20 liters, but I cannot assure all days I can give 20 liters to all the people. So poor and inadequate water is associated with the sanitation related issues. Okay, so that is what we mean to say. Then sanitation in this first day of the displacement emergency, 50 to 100%, so you can give. Then it goes on increasing, so obviously I am unable to provide sanitation to that particular people. Improve to 1 laton from 20%, ideally 1 laton per family. So it will reduce the supply, so automatically you will get into so many issues. Then food and nutrition, there won't be any good food. Nutrition food will not be there. Malnutrition will take place because available thing you have to take. You cannot take all types of food and all types of things, so that you will not get full nutrition, that even cause to death. You can see like Ethiopia, a country where this takes place. So you have to plan how the food has to be distributed, and that cannot be done there. Then settler and site planning, proper place to live will not be there, so that leads to again disaster. So that you have to do, you have to properly select a place where to stay, all the things has to be done. Then healthcare, you will not have all require medicines there. So if the medicines is there, even small fever and small cold, even that will disturb to a greater extent. Then control of communicable disease, since you have ran from an area, attack source of infection. So if a person is not feeling well, and that will spread among the entire people, so that you have to take care, you have to control. Continuous surveillance to be detect evidence and to access effectiveness of things has to be take place, and that will not be there, so that is a problem. Then coordination, I told, relational, many actors are usually involved. Goal is to achieve greatest impact through interaction of activities. So you should have a board, you should have a display, you should call them, you will ask them to sit, you have to explain how to live, you have to tell all sorts of such things. Only if you communicate and if you try to reach them, then only you can try to improve and come out of any disaster situation. Then last one is climatic related disaster. So when you come to climate, we all know that when you go for urbanization, when there is a crowding, then obviously CO2 emission will increase. If this CO2 emission is increasing, automatically it will create so many problems. So intense climate related disasters. So when temperature increases, what happens is more and more water gets evaporated. So more and more water evaporated, then there is chance for floods, then storm will occur, and drought will take place, and heat waves will be more. When more CO2, more heat waves. At the same time, and coupled with increasing concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, temperature on an average have been rising and are becoming more variables and more extreme. Rainfall also been more variable and more extreme. So all this will take place. So in a regressive analysis within a model of disaster risk determination from 1971 to 2013, population exposure measured by the population density and the people vulnerability measured by the socio-economic variables are positively linked to the frequency of these intensive disasters. So climatic disaster is mainly due to population exposure. When more population is there, obviously every contamination usage will increase. If this contamination and usage increases, that leads to disaster. Importantly, the result shows that prospective deviations are positively related to hydrometeorological event, while temperature and precipitation deviation have a negative association with we call it as climatological events. Moreover, global climate changes indicate shows positive highly significant test. So whenever this climate increases, then disaster will also increase. So this is a graph. So you can clearly see in 1917 to 1914, hydrological disaster is increasing, which means more and more floods. Okay, compared to other thing, this is increasing. That is increasing because of increasing in temperature. So increasing temperature has increased. So occurrence rate has increased from which was very less than 50. Now it has even touched 250 sometimes around in 2006. Okay, so next one is people affected by natural disaster. Once if the disaster is increasing, obviously the affected will also increase. Again, there is more urbanization, we have told. So because of urbanization, the crowd is on gathered to a place. So if there anything is occurring, then people affected will also automatically increase. Again, you can see in 1998 it has touched a peak value, and then it has reduced, but it is not reduced as compared to previous years like 1974, where it is less than 50 million. now it has crossed for 100 million. So just twice the time it has increased in your, what to say, with the people affected by natural disasters. And this is CO2 emission. We all know that there is no decrease in CO2. CO2 is gradually increasing. So in 1959, the ppm, parts per million. So even two more questions they will ask, what is ppm? It is parts per million. When you take a million out of million, how much is been? So even in industry, they will write this on the display board saying that our manufacturing is 0.1 ppm, which means 0.1 damage per million. If you take million piece, 0.1 piece will get damaged. That is what they call it as ppm. Here ppm is part per million with respect to population they are saying. So carbon dioxide data measured in ppm has increased drastically from 1959 to 2014. So it is around 300 to now it has went to 420, 430. So even some other gases is also cause for increasing temperature, but the main person is CO2. The problem is CO2 is the heaviest gas. So this gas will not be on the top of the surface, it will only stay at the bottom. So it will react with us and it will rise the temperature. So that is why the CO2 emission will not go to hilly areas compared to your normal low lying area with respect to sea level. Okay, so with this we will stop today's class, and just I will show you that video that